Hi there, Year 11. Welcome to another edition of your homework. Number 2, I'm sure you're absolutely thrilled. But here we go. So, this one is all about how Catholics use the Bible. Okay? Now, pretty simple, straightforward. If this one comes up in your exam, happy days. All right? So, the first way in which it's used is publicly. All right? So, it's used in public worship. And the reason it's used in public worship is because it contains all the key teachings and all sort of things, well, all the key teachings, really. So therefore, it's used, the main things used in the liturgy of the word during Mass, okay? The second thing is that it can be used privately. You could say, right, that it can be studied at home, however, to educate ourselves about our faith, etc. And if you're going to talk then about privately, you could say, I don't know, it might be read to help focus prayer. All right, so that's the first thing. So it's publicly, doing public worship, doing the liturgy of the word in the Mass, and privately at home, maybe to focus prayer, etc. Now, the next one's to do with some key language. So the next one is it can be used for interpretation. So essentially, the messages that are in the Bible, that we can work them out and we can apply them to modern day society. Things like, I don't know, if somebody was considering having an abortion, they might read it and come across all life is sacred, or thou shalt not kill. And it might help them to think, right, well, I can apply that to my situation and not go forward with having an abortion. The next keyword to use that it's used for revelation. And again, it's quite similar to interpretation, but it can help to reveal God's plan for us in our lives. So, for example, you could be faced with a big decision about what you should do in your life. And it could be, imagine it was a job that you could be to become a charity worker or to follow a career, I don't know, working in a factory. Now, both of those are totally fine, but you might, which one is your passion? Well, it could be about working as a charity worker. So you might sort of read the Bible or look at some quotes from it, and you'll find things like love thy neighbour and about Jesus teaching the parable of the sheep and the goats, but also one about gifts and talents, about how we should use them. So that could help make the decision of going and following your dreams, really, okay? So it can help to reveal God's plan for us. The next one could be used as a guide in our lives. Why? Because it contains all the teachings and I mean, all the teachings and rules that we can follow in our lives to be a good Christian. Finally, it can be used for education or study, okay? And why is that? To help us to get a better understanding of our faith and God's nature. I know I said finally, but there's another one. It's also important, and that's evangelization, okay? The Bible can be used to evangelize, and the reason for that, again, is it contains all the core teachings and beliefs and rules that can be shared and read aloud. And that is why it's used, it's called during the Mass, but also if you see people who are speaking, maybe as maybe in town, okay, that you might come across some people who are sort of promoting messages about Jesus and our faith, and a lot of the time that they'll contain quotes or posters that draw upon sort of Bible teachings, because again, it's at the very core of our faith. So there, I think I give you 7 different points you can focus on. So good luck with your homework.